there, beautiful. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson, and my website is alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer, and my website is PeteTheRetailer2.com.
TOO or number 2?
Both. I just was looking it up, and apparently I bought both of those a while ago when I said something. So
Wow.
Either one. Go ahead.
I'm Greg Wyshynski. I work at ESPN. I'm a hockey writer there. I also host I host a website. Look, I'm GoDaddy. I host a podcast called Puck Soup, and I also have a book. If you're someone who's trying to get into hockey, I wrote a book called "Take Your Eye Off the Puck: How to Watch Hockey by Knowing Where to Look," and it's available wherever books are sold.
Yeah, I should send that to Alex.
Me?
Yeah, I should send it to you.
Sure. You want to get me into hockey?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Well, thanks for closing out the week with us here, Greg. We're talking about minute 115 today. Minute 115 starts with Rose ducking and covering from Phasma's blaster fire, and it ends a minute later with a close-up of Snoke's disgusting dead tongue.
Yeah, we end with like 1 or 2 frames of dead Snoke. So,
but I love it. I love that shot of dead Snoke.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Appropriate,
his little tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a cartoon way when someone is dead, you indicate that by having their tongue stick out. So it's just funny that he's just like, he should have X's over his eyes too. He might have pretty much does. So, but anyway, so Finn is still alive.
Turns out he didn't die.
Somehow Finn has returned
Finn has returned
to complete his fight with Phasma, and he says she's standing there, and he says, "Hey," and she turns around, and he clocks her in the face.
Yeah.
Why? Is the "hey" necessary? Hey. Like,
she really took the bait on that one, didn't she?
Would it be unheroic if he just clocked her in the head, like from behind, without her even knowing it was him? Or is that kind of almost just like, all right, I'm giving her like. It's like she has a chance because I said, hey, and,
I think it's more, he wants her to know that it was him.
So not movie wise. If you were in that situation, what would you do? I think I'd play it safe and I would hit them without them having to know it was me. I'd rather they be dead and me know it than them possibly escape and them know it. You know what I mean?
I would like to think that I would not be in this situation. Because this is, once again, up until...
That's right, this is all cut out, so you would...
Yeah, 51 seconds into this minute, we can cut back in. Okay. So,
do we know what
the last 9 seconds of this?
Do we know what the platform is that he's on? Like, what is that?
Like, what are his
what is he,
beliefs?
how does he... how does he rise up from falling down the hole? What is he on?
Is it like one of those elevator? Like that
was... on the side of the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, the little thing to move the planes up and down.
Oh, is that what it is?
You guys know, we all had the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, right, guys?
I mean, I wasn't a rich kid, Pete.
Neither was I.
It kind of reminded me of the platform Joseph Gordon-Levitt is on at the end of Dark Knight Rises when he is going to ascend to become the new Batman, in theory, spoiler. I just didn't know what it was. And how he got it to move, or why it was moving, or how this whole situation. Yeah, how this whole situation happened. Did he fall down a hole? He's like, "Am I dead?" And then all of a sudden, the thing starts going. I didn't know what was happening. I was found to be very confusing.
You have to read the Finn novel they're working on, which is all about his adventures on the.
I thought the comic book story about that elevator. You have to read that. It's got its own spin-off.
Tales from the Supremacy Elevator.
It's a novel entirely about his fall down that hole onto the elevator. It's called Chucked Finn. He gets on the thing and he goes back up.
Got it. She does fall in slow motion, which is a cool that's I guess a modern filmmaking thing now, including slow motion. That was never a thing in old-fashioned Star Wars. So I'm fine with it. It's good.
You mean Phasma falling into slow motion?
Yeah, Phasma kind of going.
Right before that, they have another exchange here where it's like I had questions about this, that she's, he gives her a whack with the stick and she's, her helmet is broken for a second and she's just like, well, you're still scum. And he's like, rebel scum. And he like totally owns it. And I was like, is that in continuity? Is that something that they've kind of, reclaimed, like based on, like, man, this one time this Imperial officer called us rebel scum. And then they all spread that around, be like, yeah, that's right, we're rebel scum. Like,
like that's the name of like their softball team.
Right.
The two things I love about that moment are one where she's like, scum, and he's like, rebel scum. And I'm just thinking, Phasma's thinking, yeah, that was the point. I didn't say rebel, but when we say scum, it does mean rebel scum.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the inference.
That was implied.
And the other thing too that I found amazing was that when he uses his catchphrase has such power. He's like, rebel scum, and then all of a sudden the ground around her breaks. like the integrity of the ship was broken by how powerful his clapback was.
Yeah, he's like Black Bolt. He's I do think that she should have been corrected him. She should have been like, well, actually, you're resistance scum, and then no, and then that made the ground break.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like, what is the rebel resistance? Like, are they synonymous for the people that are in the resistance?
I think at this point in the movie, because earlier she said Godspeed rebels, I think they've kind of dropped the pretense that they're anything other than the rebels. They're just like,
I think it's like they couldn't be the what was now the New Republic still had the rights to rebels. And so once they were wiped out by Starkiller Base, then the resistance could go back to being rebels. They were like, oh, okay. Now
the resistance is like, we're rebels, and Admiral Akbar's like, I knew rebels, I served with rebels, and you, sirs, are no rebels.
Well, we're resistance, right? We resist. It doesn't have the same.
Oh my god, I rebel.
We hardly
Ira Bell.
But yes, we do see Phasma, the Eye of Phasma, as I put down, and
Indiana Jones and the Eye of Phasma.
It reminded me, and we already discussed the black hole this week, but that shot reminded me of the shot from the black hole where we see Maximilian, and he has the bad guy inside, Dr. Reinhardt.
Right. When they bond, when they go inside the black hole and go to hell.
Right.
But it's her.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
know
regular
who else went
face.
to hell? Jason Voorhees, which is what Phasma should have been.
Do you think if we didn't know that, what's her name? Gwendolyn Christie, is that her name?
Yes.
Do you think if we didn't know who, like, that was her in there, would we be all like, like if this had been Darth Vader, we all would have been like, what does she look like under there? Like, what is it? But I don't remember there being much of any speculation.
Yeah, I was always
like underneath.
I remember being puzzled by that, like when they did that moment where her helmet breaks, because it's like, is that an Easter egg to the people that know it's Gwendolyn Christie, or is it like this is just a lady inside, kind of moment? I don't know. It was weird. I feel like it was probably more the former of, hey, here's a chance to see a little bit of this person's face that from that other thing,
right? Which they kind of like. I think that was a criticism of The Force Awakens. Some people were like, oh, well, what, you had this cool actress, but you put her in a suit where we don't see her at all. And so now it's like, all right,
that criticism levied by Anthony Daniels.
Hey, you got this cool actress, but you don't see your face at all. Maybe you should see more people's faces.
Maybe he should be the other way. He should be, if his face is, he doesn't want anyone's face, so he's always like, hey, have you ever thought about putting Han Solo in a full complete body armor? So that way, he's see how they like it. But it's weird. Like, I don't know why just the eye? Like is there some symbolic reason? Like, what is I don't understand. Like, I almost feel like the whole helmet should have been cracked off if that was the case. Even though I hate when they do that, like when Spider-Man is fighting and then somehow inevitably Spider-Man's face mask gets pulled. The superheroes' masks are always being pulled off, kind of arbitrarily in fights.
It's got like pretty eyes.
Oh,
That's the only thing I could think of.
one pretty eye.
Yeah, one pretty eye.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing should have really, like, not just the mask, but like I'm not going to say, like, yeah, well, all of her armor should have come off, but, like, have it be, like, a little bit more,
Oh, my gosh, my armor all fell off.
But, like, if it was a little more damage to it, like, chunks of it had fallen off, her helmet came off, that kind of a thing, it was a little more actual battle damage than just, like, one convenient kind of slice through the helmet where she can look through, like, and it's like the helmet got damaged, but not, her eye at all. It again, this cutting room floor, so it doesn't matter. But
this would be on the cutting room floor too.
Oh yeah.
The whole Phasma. So Phasma wouldn't even be in the movie.
The whole shebang.
Phasma's in the movie.
Yeah,
she showed up before to organize the execution, and then Holdo maneuver, and we assume that she died until Rise of Skywalker, where she comes back, and we're like, what? Right. How did she come back again?
Okay. I like it.
With robot spider legs.
Maybe. Yeah.
There
you go.
I find it interesting in Star Wars when people fall down holes, because you have.
What are some other examples?
Okay, so sometimes they decide they want to fall down a thing, like Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Luke,
and then sometimes they're sliced in half and they fall down a thing like Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes someone throws them down a thing like Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
But other times people fall down a thing and then they survive. Like Ewan McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think twice, maybe. I think he fell off a thing in Clones too. And
doesn't Vader get knocked down doesn't Vader fall off the Cloud City, the carbonite freezing, when they're having the duel in the carbon freezing chamber?
He goes flying.
Yeah, doesn't that first duel literally end with him going and falling backwards?
Right. And then Luke falls down the tube and he jumps out.
Right.
A lot of falling down and jumping out.
The Sarlacc pit, lots of guys fall in there.
Lots of guys falling in the Sarlacc pit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Depending on how you feel about canon, either Boba Fett flies out or doesn't.
In this very movie, we saw Rey go tumbling down into a wet swamp hole.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yep.
So, a lot of falling.
Mm-hmm.
But half the time, do only good guys survive? No, I don't know. Well, no, because Maul comes back. Well, I don't know. Interesting. Let's do a study on that. Somebody break that down for us.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Right.
So.
That's true. I heard that.
There was a bunch of mattresses at the bottom of the
right.
Bottom of the Death Star 2 reactor shaft.
So good that I decided to put that trampoline down here.
Yeah, cut to like earlier that day when they were just like, I don't know, what do we do with this trampoline? We don't need it anymore. Just throw it down the reactor shaft.
How incredibly advantageous that I put the Death Star moon bounce at the bottom of this.
Fully armed and operational bouncy castle. Heard
that
There's
for a couple times.
Some 6-year-old having her birthday party down there being like, Mom!
Pete, in your example, I like that he's falling, and then he bounces up and he's happy, but then once he starts falling again, he gets scared again.
Yeah. It's like constant, hot and cold.
I mean, it's really a metaphor for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
Do we think that DJ survives the Holdo maneuver? Like before the execution, did he split when they said like, the keys to your ship, here's all your stuff? Did he take off and like?
He is out of there. Yeah, he is. Look at he got what he came for, and he's out of there. I think he survives.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing conclusive, but he seems like a survivor. He's not going to give up.
Yeah,
he's just gonna.
Now, I have a question, and it's actually Pete spent the week chronicling all of the things that he hates about this scene.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing I hate the most about this scene.
Oh.
The ship is falling apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We saw again upwards of 3,000 stormtroopers all there in the hangar getting ready for the big execution. So we know that there's people there. They're looking to flee in theory. No one decided to take the shuttle. The shuttle's just there. No one is like hopping the queue, jumping the line, being like, yeah, I'm going to take that shuttle over there and leave.
Yeah.
It is still just sitting there for our heroes to go traverse the flaming debris of the ship on the ATSD piloted by a droid with no arms. And then they get on the shuttle and they leave. But no one thought to take the shuttle. No one's like, we need the shuttle. No one's like, I'm out of here on the shuttle. Just there.
I have an answer for that.
Oh.
Well, if you recall, in the last movie, did you want to say something, Pete?
No. Oh, I yes, but I'll wait until you're done.
Okay. Yeah, wait to tell Alex how absurd this is until he says it.
Well,
you're
if you
wrong.
recall, in the last movie, Finn needed Poe because Finn did not know how to drive a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So I'm assuming that that's probably true for a lot of the stormtroopers.
Oh, okay. You see,
like, what?
It's not nearly as horrible as I thought it was going to be. That's a
Right.
plausible. That's a plausible solution. Yeah.
So
They're running around.
Of course, if your ship has just been rammed by another ship at light speed and the ship is falling apart, you just saw 2,999 of your friends sucked out an airlock. I might just hop in the ship and see how I manage.
Yeah,
you figure at least you'll be more safe from stuff falling on you from up above.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe you might bump into a pilot on the way, or something.
Yeah, or yeah, exactly. Or like
like
at least get out of the way of. At least get out of the way of the armored assault vehicles being piloted by robots that are currently killing all of the rest of your friends.
They get onto the shuttle and there's like 20 other stormtroopers just there waiting for someone to drive the ship away. They're just hoping someone shows up. Hey, it's Finn. That would have been a good way to get more former stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So,
if anybody needs a lift, just shout
again,
it out.
at this point, I am just like nudging that thing out into the void of space so I don't like die when the ship implodes on itself. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Well, my solution was that it makes much more sense if the last 3 minutes had been cut out and they just they wake up and they're like, oh, there's a shuttle, let's go, and you cut to here and they just run to the shuttle and leave, because that way you don't have all these extra minutes of stuff going on.
I'll go you one farther. I say they get knocked out and they wake up. They're already on the shuttle and they're already on their way back to the Radix.
What, did BB-8 drag them on there and took off?
You don't need to get involved in the details.
Why not? Just they get knocked out in the Holdo maneuver and they wake up on Crate and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna fight him.
Piloting the ship.
Yeah.
What the?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the more that I watch the BB-8 thing, the more I hate it. Because also, did you notice that I don't know if it was in yesterday or it's today, but he's driving it. He's basically got a bundle of wires, like a plug that led to the control panel, and he's holding it kind of in a claw, and he's using his little kind of shocking spider finger thing from the beginning, the thing that he kind of bridged the capacitors with and the resistors with in the X-Wing at the very beginning. He was using that same kind of arm just to like tap the little control wires in the thing that he's holding, and that's running the whole. He's managing to drive the whole ATSD and use the blasters and all that from this.
I say again, these robots are programmed.
Yeah,
someone had to program BB-8 to hotwire an ATSD.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't need it. And then why, how and why would Rose get on there to go to the shuttle? It seemed like they could just run there. By granted, speed is an issue, but it seems like it would take time to okay, wait, need a ride? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me slowly bring the thing down to ground level so you can hop on, and then we're gonna run, even though there's no real way that this would work with a center of gravity and all that right now. But anyway, don't like it.
Don't like it. It's cut out.
It's cut. All of this is cut.
Did you hear that there was a deleted scene where they showed BB-8 driving an ATSD? That would have been kind of fun to see, though, wouldn't it?
Right. Boy, am I glad they didn't include that.
Right.
Glad that's just a Disney Plus extra.
It becomes legendary. And then I bet the people would be cooler with it. They're like, oh, they should have kept this in. How cool. I love BB-8.
Yeah. I would love to, go see Mirror Universe Pete right now, who's just there's a cutscene. If you watch the cutscene, it really is kind of cool. BB-8 drives an ATSD. It's goofy fun.
Yeah, I bet this universe's Pete would be okay if it was Dio.
They should release, every Star Wars movie should be half an hour long with an hour and 45 minutes of deleted scenes that you'd be able to pick and choose which ones you wanted to be part of the movie or not.
Like a choose your own adventure.
Exactly.
Or it's like a sweet green or something. You go through and you're like, okay, give me the Dio, and you go through, you pick out all the elements that you want in there, and they make it up for you.
Let's bring Phasma
They're like,
back.
I'm sorry, we don't have any Dio. All we have is kale. And I was like, all right, just give me the kale, I guess.
All right.
Anything else about minute 115 before we wrap this up?
Snoke has an adorable tongue.
Hmm.
It's just very cute. And now I all I could think of when I saw that. First of all, it was very jarring because it was right at the end of our minute.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of those flash scenes from The Exorcist where you see the demon's face.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate seeing it. But it's I'd love to see Snoke eat an ice cream cone now with that cute little tongue of his. I can't see it anymore, or maybe I can. There's like a billion Snokes apparently.
There you go. Yeah, we'll clone a new one just for the ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one's the ice cream Snoke.
I have to make one that can tempt.
Where we are at Star Wars Minute. Instagram, where we are at the Star Wars Minute. Greg, you wanna highlight your socials while we're here?
Absolutely, man. I'm at Wyshynski, WYSHYNSKI on both Twitter and I believe Instagram. Unless I'm G Wyshynski on Instagram, but I think I'm just Wyshynski. I don't know why there'd be a trouble getting Wyshynski on Instagram.
Right.
And again, if you want to interact with me, please do. And then also check out my podcast, Puck Soup, which is some hockey, but also some pop culture. And also, if you're a Top Chef fan, we have a food TV podcast that's available on the Puck Soup Patreon called Mise en Pod. It's myself and my wife, Ruby. And we do the entire run of Top Chef episode by episode, and then also we'll be branching out into other food TV shows where people undoubtedly are trying to either impress Guy Fieri or defeat Bobby Flay. Those are the two different types of food TV shows that exist, I think.
That's all there is.
Yes.
So is this the current, like, are you doing the current season of Top Chef, or are you?
Oh yeah. We started the show last season for All Stars, and then we've been doing episode by episode for Top Chef Portland, and it's great to do because we are Top Chef super fans. And so it's not simply just like commenting on the episodes and the food and the whole thing. It's also understanding how the show is edited and the motivations of judges, and very much kind of a lot of inside baseball on the old Top Chef.
All right. People should check that out. And check us out on Monday with another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars
Minute.
Is that Lena Dunham?